Franchise.
Get in like the Marines.
Franchise.
Yeah.
Franchise.
We're in.
Franchise. Franchise the damn thing.
Welcome to Franchise Addicts, a podcast covering every film in a given franchise. My name is Luke.
And my name is Chris.
And this week we continue the Godfather saga with 1974's Godfather Part II.
That we do. It's on. It's continuing. The saga continues. The saga I never saw. The saga that is very long.
It is very long.
Yeah.
We are about 6 hours into a
Godfather
9 hour,
verse?
basically 9 hour trilogy.
The third one's gonna be 3 too.
Yeah,
Oof.
yeah. I mean, they weren't sparing anything on
yeah.
these. The argument has been made by multiple people that the first Godfather is the most rewatchable movie of all time,
Yeah.
but that Godfather 2 is the best movie of all time.
Huh.
Now, I told you that I don't know if I think Godfather 2 is as good as Godfather Part 1. I definitely like watching the first one more, so that lends credence to the rewatchability factor of the first one compared to the second one. I will say that the complexity because compared to Part 2, Part 1 is like pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like, you know what the bad guys are, you know what Vito's plan is, you know what Michael's plan is, pretty straightforward, you're just following along. In 2, there's a lot of ins, a lot of outs. What is Michael trying to accomplish with this conversation? What did Fredo actually give up in that information? You're not directly told what he told the Hyman Roth.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, so
More
like
complex.
that complexity to me adds more of like, every time I watch 2, like I do find something a little bit different, but that's mostly just about the plot.
Yeah.
I will say that I don't think that 2 is as pretty to look at.
No, it's definitely not. There's some nice scenes, of course, but no, I can definitely agree with that.
But I mean, we're going through these movies not mainly to have me espouse all my ideas of it, but because you have not even had these internal conversations in your head until now.
Yeah.
So how did you feel going into Part 2, knowing the like reputation that it has coming off that first movie? I know that you kind of piecemealed this one together. Were you able to follow along, get a general idea of what's going on here?
I believe so. Yeah, because of a busy schedule, I did it in 3 parts, which is just like the director intended. But I got it. I believe I got it. Some of the nuances with the plot and like stuff that you were referring to a little earlier moments ago. You know, I probably didn't digest that as fully as I could have. But you know, it's got this reputation for being. I mean, the first one was already a big thing to take on. Like, this is one of the best movies of all time. You haven't watched it. It's way in the past now. This classic film. You know, it's if someone tells you this is the best meal you're ever gonna eat before you eat it, like that's a tough thing to take on and have it really deliver. Now, I think that The Godfather was really good. It definitely delivered. Great movie. I can definitely get behind the rewatchability and the way that it was shot, the characters, everything. It's a really great film. Then they say, okay, well, the 2. Even better. 2, a prequel is what I had heard. And that's really all I knew going into it. So I knew nothing else. And, I would say, I hate to say that I was a little let down, but, I was a little let down. It was good. It's very, very good. Okay. Like, of course it's good. They throw in De Niro here. You throw in a little bit of a prequel story. But not the main storyline at all. It's just kind of it's there to pepper in some additional backstory. It's very good. But if you wouldn't have told me, this is one of the best movies of all time, I don't think I would have walked away. I wouldn't have walked away thinking that. Now, I also think that something you have to keep in mind with all of these older movies, right, is the significance. Like when this came out in 74, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, this was such a this was a bigger deal then, and now it's been rehashed. There's been so many movies that are in conversation with this that I have seen in for the last, few decades of my life, and so it probably it packs less of a a novel punch because it's just, it's been done.
Yeah, I can see where a lot of that comes in, and I'm sure we'll touch on aspects of it as we go scene by scene through this. I think this movie is incredibly interesting because it is going beyond the source material. So this isn't in the book. There's maybe like bits and pieces of it. It's like taking that aspect of it, but like it's.
Which is interesting, isn't it? This one they call maybe the guy he got rights, he got some extra money, but they call it like the author's name. What is the author's name of the?
So the author's name
Mario Puzo.
is Mario Puzo.
So they call, even when the title comes in, it's Mario Puzo's The Godfather.
Yes, I mean both of them are co-written. The screenplays are co-written by.
It just takes more than the novel.
Yeah, so the second one.
Yeah.
So the first one is basically an adaptation of the novel. There's a lot of it that's obviously left on the cutting room floor. They take the biggest highlighted parts of it and follow it through. Coppola comes in, helps with that screenwriting. From what I've researched on it, Puzo was like kind of a train wreck when they asked him to make the screenplay, because he wanted so much of his book. That's the problem with having the novelist also write the screenplay.
Yeah.
Because it's their work. So they're like, well, I wrote this thing, so like it should be included.
Yeah.
And Coppola had to kind of come in and be like, well, this is a movie. This is how movies work. And so we got to, cut here, add a little bit here, because this is now becoming visual. And then they come to 2 and deepen the story even further, the way any good sequel does, where the first movie can kind of stand alone. There's a lot of, the main core ideas of what, this entire story, this entire saga is about. And so you present it in one, and it's, it's crisp, it's clean, it looks so pretty. It's very straightforward. We have a clear beginning, we have a clear middle, we have a clear ending point. You could just stop it there. But then the continuation of the story into 2, let's get Vito's background. How did Vito come to America? How did he become the Godfather? What shaped him? And then we're paralleling that with Michael having fully taken over years now in the future after his dad has passed away, and he's had the hit on the 5 families. And it does a great job of paralleling and mirroring the 2 experiences of a young Vito and now a middle-aged Michael Corleone. How one comes up and his ambition, but also how Vito is capable of still being kind, even when he's being menacing. There's a complaint that Vito basically, he does bad things, but we as the audience never criticize him for it because he always has a compelling reason.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Like the people that he kills, the people that he messes with,
they're all real bad.
They're bad people. Whereas we're looking at Michael, and in the first movie, we're kind of like, oh yeah, Sollozzo and McCuskey, like those guys are, evil. They want to bring drugs in. This is a corrupt police officer and all that. Horrible. He shoots them. Yay, Michael. Good job. And then even at the end, when he's taken down cold-blooded, the rest of the heads of the families and Mo Green, we're like, okay, yeah, we're still cheering for you. This movie then asks, like, can Michael take it too far?
Yeah.
And what is the difference between him and his father, where we're still seeing it in that past with Vito? Everything Vito does, you're like, cool, yeah. I'm in. And now you're seeing it paralleled with Michael, and you're starting to go, whoa, Michael. I don't know about this one, dude. Yeah. Like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't.
It gets a little more real.
Yeah, so I really appreciate 2 for its moral ambiguity, the depth that it's bringing. It's not as pretty to look at to me. There are certain things that are just wonderful about it. I understand more of what Coppola is trying to get at with this. It's just not quite there, but I tell you what, having done some of the research, and we're going to walk through a lot of this movie has a lot in it. And if this is not listening audience, or even to Chris, if this is not one of your favorite movies, hopefully some of the stuff that we can add will grow your appreciation for something that should well be considered one of the greatest achievements in American movie making history. Is these two movies, Godfather and 2, put together. Yeah. Whether they're your favorite movies or not is kind of besides the point. This is like extremely important.
Okay, let's get down to it. I was going to talk about the black silk sheets.
Oh, well, we can get to, because part of it too is like in one, there's ridiculous parts of this movie that are just funny and I laugh at them. In 2 too, where like they're funny and I laugh at them because they're like, Mo Green is a silly character, and then he gets talked about with such reverence in this by Hyman Roth. He's like, this great man went into the desert and Vegas came up, and you're like, the same guy that was talking to Tom, and when he gets shot through the eyeball,
some of the kills are rough. You're
just like, whatever, but then he gets talked about with such reverence, and I just think that's funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still fantastic. So this movie comes out in 1974, obviously directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and co-written the screenplay. Mario Puzo's back. The third movie, Mario Puzo not involved.
Oh, okay.
So third movie, obviously criticized extremely heavily.
Yeah.
And is not particularly great.
Okay.
Easily forgotten. And a lot of people point to Puzo not being involved at all. These are his characters. This is his creation, so to speak of. Coppola is kind of the guiding force, allowing Puzo's vision to come through on screen. And then Coppola, like, basically, he's very famous now. He's had 2 Best Picture winners for The Godfather and Godfather Part II.
Yeah.
And is kind of he's in his groove for 3, and is like, I'm, the Coppola that I am now. I am the great genius. I'll take care of all this. Yes. And it's a disaster. He's now shown it over and over again that when Coppola thinks he's got this, he doesn't got it.
See Megalopolis.
Yeah. But when he's, he's focused, when he has someone else helping him out, he's a genius.
Yeah. Did anyone help him on Apocalypse Now?
That was
that lightning in a bottle?
Lightning in a bottle. You get, an all-time performance from Martin Sheen, and then Brando just being crazy, and it's based off another novel, Heart of Darkness.
There you go.
He is working off pretty good source material. Godfather Part 2 budget $13 million, box office $93 million, 11 total Academy Award nominations, 6 wins, Best Picture, Director, Supporting Actor, Robert De Niro.
Okay.
Best Adapted Screenplay.
Wow, he got an Oscar.
Best Art Direction, and Best Original Dramatic Score.
Mm-hmm.
So, if a movie, I feel like, has there been Everything Everywhere All at Once, that it kind of went on this similar run where it's winning that many and a lot of the big ones?
Yeah, there's probably happened other times too that I can't think about.
Yeah, so this, the ones that it won here, it didn't win Best Lead Actor. Probably should have. Pacino is incredible in this movie.
He's really good.
Fredo, John Cazale, like, excellent.
Yeah.
I got a lot of Fredo stuff, and not just about him getting whacked. I mean,
Hail Mary.
It's tough. It's tough.
A fish bigger than my brother.
So
I got a secret for you, Mikey.
I don't think we did this last time, but for me, this is helpful. Thinking about podcasting about it, thinking about working through this movie. I'm just going to introduce us to who is in the family, who's outside the family. Give you guys a brief description of who's in this movie, who we're going to be talking about.
All right.
So obviously Michael Corleone, we know him. The change is a young Vito Corleone, played by Bob De Niro.
Yeah.
And so
Bobby.
we see him. Fredo, obviously John Cazale, he's back. He is now the lone brother of Michael in this movie. Sonny has obviously been killed in the previous movie.
Yeah.
Tom Hagen, just a stepbrother. So Fredo, and then Connie, Talia Shire, being the remaining siblings left. And this movie is a lot about the relationships that are now existing between Connie, Fredo, and Michael, and how broken it is since Michael took power.
Yeah, the first one's about family unity, perhaps, and this one is about the opposite.
And then speaking of power corrupting Michael and it turning into bad stuff happening for people close to his life, Kay Corleone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's got it rough.
Not great. I already mentioned Connie, and then Tom Hagen. Not a wartime consigliere, but apparently in a fantastic consigliere when it comes to starting casinos and hotels in Vegas.
Yeah, he's making moves.
We've got a new kind of big bad boss guy that we're going to have to determine, is Michael working with him? Is this guy working against Michael? Hyman Roth.
Hyman Roth.
I think a great villain. Love him. We then get a family member that we don't know anything about before, because Clemenza, so this is a big thing in the Godfather community. Clemenza is kind of, and we see it in the earlier Vito timeline, Clemenza is like Vito's right-hand guy.
Yeah.
The actor who played Clemenza in the first movie refused to come back for 2 unless he was able to write all of Clemenza's dialogue.
Wow.
He's like, I want full writing control over the character. You don't do anything without my okay. And Coppola's, who also is a producer on this movie, didn't produce the first movie. Coppola produced the second one. Coppola's like, yeah, don't worry about it. And
he let him do it?
No. So they kind of talked him down, and then basically he just refused to show up at some point.
Okay.
So they are like, okay. And right before filming, they got to completely change the character, what Clemenza was supposed to be doing, into Frank Pentangeli, who is, spoiler alert, my favorite character in either of these 2 movies.
Really?
I love, so Pentangeli means Frankie Five Angels, or Five Angels. So they call him Frankie Five Angels. But Frank Pentangeli, he's a old school Corleone family capo.
Some nice hair.
Just incredible. We got Johnny Ola, who is the right-hand man to Hyman Roth. He later, the actor later becomes Uncle Junior on The Sopranos. We've got Al Neary, who's Michael's trusted and ruthless enforcer. Senator Pat Geary.
Oh yeah,
who has quite a trip through this movie.
Yeah.
And then some of the peripheral guys that are important to the story. Don Fanucci. He is the gangster in the Vito timeline who Vito ends up taking out. Incredible fake teeth.
Yeah.
Like, those things are just shining. The guy who plays Don Fanucci, I don't have his name. I'll look that up later. But this guy's kind of amazing because he just gets to be this big swinging dick and is just an absolute asshole to every single person.
Gaston Motion.
Also, I didn't confirm this, but is there a chance that this guy created the phrase, "Let me wet my beak"?
I hope so. Let him wet his beak.
I don't need a lot. Just let me wet my beak.
Too violent for me.
And then we get this absolute asshole who gets what's coming to him, Don Ciccio, who is the guy at the beginning of this movie who eliminates basically every single person in Vito's family except for Vito.
Yeah, he gets it for sure. What looks like opening up a jelly pillow. That's not the best kill.
Not a great kill.
Some olive oil. Yeah.
I don't know how that is possible. If you've ever cut a steak before it's obviously grilled or anything, doing any butchery, it's pretty hard to pull even a very sharp knife through tissue.
Yeah.
But apparently young Vito was just strong like bull.
He was strong, and then the squib or whatever, that shotgun scene right after, it's like an old school stunt show.
Yeah. I still don't love the Italy. For some reason, to me, the Italy stuff seems more staged than stuff that's like in America, and obviously shot on like a soundstage like area.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I notice it outside in Italy way more in this movie, where I'm like, this looks like a curated movie set that these characters have now stepped into, and so it kind of takes me out of like the realism. Whereas I'm sure people watching in the 70s were just like, oh, this looks great and all that. Now I can kind of see the lines that they're drawing in.
Yeah.
But that might just be a me problem. So let's get into the movie, and we can hit all the other characters and details about them as we keep going. Godfather 1 starts with a wedding, coming together of these two people, a new life together. Godfather Part 2 starts with a funeral.
Yeah.
So we begin in Vito's timeline, and we see a funeral procession because Vito's father has been murdered by the guy that I just mentioned and forgot his name, Don Ciccio. And as that funeral procession continues to go, gunshots are heard, and Vito's older brother, his only other sibling, is killed.
Yeah. Sad.
So it's rough, but then it gets worse because Vito's mom then goes to Don Ciccio with Vito because she knows what is happening. Basically, this guy, Don Ciccio, is taking out the family.
Yeah.
Because if you kill the father because of some beef that you have between each other, what is going to happen, especially in Italian heritage? Sons are going to come after you.
That's what happens.
And you don't want that to happen. So unfortunately,
you got to kill the sons.
You got to take out the kids.
Yeah, this is all how it works.
I love that the mom is like, this kid, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what we're talking about right now.
Don't kill my son. He's so stupid.
He's never talked.
I've
never even heard it. I don't even know if he knows the language.
He's not going to do anything to hurt you. He doesn't know how to work a pencil.
Also, Vito's mom, hot. Unfortunately, she gets blown away, but
as many of the women do in the Godfather series.
Great looking lady. Love my Italian women. Just tragic, but she's trying to convince. Doesn't work. She gets blown away, but Vito gets away and runs off to hide, and then eventually go to America.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Where he is given. His last name is actually Andolini, but he is from Corleone. So when he comes to America, gets his name assigned to him, as is a wonderful tradition.
Yeah, that's what we do. Your old name doesn't matter anymore. That's stupid. You're in America. This is where it matters.
Say your name in American, brother.
Yeah, this is what you are now. Love that for us.
So Vito Corleone, as he is named, how this 9-year-old kid found his way to a boat to get to America.
Yeah, that's a little, yeah.
Doesn't make it.
Fredo could get to a boat.
That's true.
Anyone can do it. If Fredo,
I'm smart, not like the people say.
I'm smart. I caught a fish. My brothers didn't catch a fish. I got a trick, you say.
Hey, Anthony, all you gotta do to catch the fish is just say a prayer.
That worked. I'll tell you. I'll do it. Oh, you don't want... Oh, he's not coming with us? Oh,
okay. Poor stupid Fredo.
Poor Fredo.
But that basically sets up young Vito, and we'll see him as he continues to grow and mature. So let's quick talk about it, because we're gonna have to obviously go back to young Vito. I personally think the beginning of the Vito saga, like I like the funeral procession. That's great. I think the first 15-20 minutes of the young Vito stuff is really bad. Not bad, but really slow. And I don't love it. And it's kind of what holds me back on liking this more than one. Because I think that one to me is just like it's a drum, man.
Yeah, once it starts,
like
you're going.
I can't think of one thing about that movie that I'm like, you didn't need that. Whereas in 2, because I have the reference of 1, I'm like, did we really need that? Like, obviously you can look back and like it all has some kind of meaning or whatever, but I would say that begins my first minor complaint about it.
Yeah, it's a little overstuffed. I think they would imagine they thought they could do that, right? The first movie so successful, this epic, amazing, award-winning thing. Like just take your time, throw in a little extra, be a little gratuitous.
Yeah. So we'll keep talking about young Vito, but now we come back to our main timeline. So we are, a number of years after what happens in Godfather Part 1. The head of the Corleone family and Michael, obviously, and his family and his main guys have moved out to Lake Tahoe in Nevada. Their removal of Mo Green as this, force that they were kind of working with in Vegas, they've now moved into his spot after taking him out. They have control of hotels, some casinos. They're making pretty good dough off of this. But that also means that they now have to deal with a larger political body, and that means, working with the senator of Nevada on getting these gaming licenses and all that. And
he's going to squeeze them.
He's going to squeeze them. So, again, a parallel of the first movie. We get this first communion for Anthony, Michael's son. Obviously, it's not a wedding, but it's a big celebration. Lots of people. We see the interactions. We see, Uncle Frank Pantangeli just wasted.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So that guy, he is so good.
Champagne cocktails.
At everything that he does. I'll get into the other stuff because I want to talk about the parallels before I make a point and then derail it halfway through. But, you have the people that want to come to the party specifically because they need to request something from Michael.
They need something.
The senator is there, and the senator, which is weird because we've never really seen it before from the first movie with Vito, senator comes in and he thinks he's in charge.
Yeah.
And so he comes in, hey, Michael, bring your wife over. Here's the check that we're giving you guys. Look how cool it is. I'm bringing you guys in. I'm Nevada. You're the new ones. All cool. Let's get behind into the office. And then he just strips it all down and is like, I hate Italians. You guys suck. I will never see you as like people that are actually involved and powerful in this area. Remember that I'm the real power. You pay me what I tell you for the licensing, even though I think Michael says it's like $30,000.
$20,000.
And he's like, give me $250.
Yeah, plus a percentage of
Yeah,
profits.
I think like 10% of like all profits. And Michael gets the great line, I got my answer for you. I'll give you nothing.
Yeah.
And
he wants him to put up the $20,000 for the license.
Yeah. So where Vito is taking, requests at his daughter's wedding and is the calm, cooling voice, except for when he's talking, why don't you be a man?
You act like a man!
But he's the one being, respected and please help me, Godfather, please help me. And then in this one where Michael has to sit there and take this dude. Now, he obviously gets the last word in and all that sort of stuff. But we see how different this world has become.
Yeah.
And then Frank Pantangeli just basically takes over from there. He's trying to get the band that they have there to play some Italian music. Ba-boom, ba-boom,
Go on.
And
they start playing Pop the Weasel. Pop goes the Weasel. Fuck.
Which is, it might be a little on the nose, but it is very funny that, you have Senator Geary basically being like, I think all of you Italians are a joke and you're just violent idiots. And then basically this, very Italian guy in Italian is trying to get this band for this Italian confirmation to play Italian music. And they're like, why don't we play a kid's song?
Yeah.
Respect. Because we think you guys are dumb idiots.
Yeah.
And so, all that happens. Uncle Frank is he's in his cups. He goes to meet Michael. We see that there's tension between the old school tradition that Frank has, because he's the guy that's basically taken over in New York for Michael. He's still working, obviously, under Michael, but he's the guy over there. And he doesn't love the way that Michael's, handling things, trying to legitimize. He's like, that's great and all, but, there's still some stuff back in New York we got to take care of the old way. Yeah. These Rosado brothers are they're messing with me. I want you to give me the go-ahead to take them out. Michael wants to slow play that because he knows the Rosados are working with Hyman Roth. Michael wants to work with Hyman Roth. And Frank is basically like the voice of reason, like, I don't like this Hyman Roth guy, even though he worked with your father. Like, it's not good. He's just about making money. That means that there's no loyalty as long as the buck is bigger on the other side. Let's just hit these Rosados and we'll be good to go.
And sometimes ethnicity comes into it, but then ultimately doesn't really matter, right? Because he's Jewish,
yeah,
but then so you'd be like, oh no, just Italians. But then we go back to the Vito story, and it is absolutely Italian on Italian crime.
Exactly, and it's the difference between building up the community, so being the savior of the community, as opposed to being the one that's taking. Because the community you can take from. So, and
maybe also just speaking to the more diverse ethnicities going on in the time of Michael than maybe in the time of Vito.
Well, yeah. So that's a great point, and one that I definitely want to talk a little bit more about, because you see how America has changed.
Yeah, right.
How, close-knit, everyone's coming through, the immigrants, they end up in their own neighborhoods. Like, New York is sectioned off, basically, Irish neighborhood, Italian neighborhood, black neighborhood, all that sort of stuff. So you grow up and, like, yes, you're speaking some English and you are American, but it's basically Little Italy or Little Ireland and all that sort of stuff. And then we see in more modern times, in the 60s with Michael, like, it's just business. It's bland. It's nothing.
He's in Nevada.
Yeah, which is just this desert, bleak nothingness that only money, only shine matters. Where your heritage is from, it doesn't matter. Italians are working with Jews, are working with
family has lost its meaning.
Yeah, and you can't, and so the trust is deteriorating, and the anger is coming up as a result. And now what's supposed to be this like blank slate of business being the main motivating factor, like, oh, let's get rid of all the silliness of the old days where it's like, my brother killed your brother, so we got to hit your, this and hit that. Now it's the idea of Hyman Roth, where it's just like, who's making me more money?
Yeah.
Because that's who I'm going to go with.
Yeah, the corruption of capitalism.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
On other values, family values, heritage-based values, community.
Yeah. And that will continue on. I mean, it's so frankly, starkly seen in bringing the Cuban Revolution into this movie, where you have a dictator in Cuba, Batista, who is allowing American businesses and the mafia to come into Cuba and, make tons of money. And what that actually did to the Cuban population was it did the extreme form of capitalism, where there was a lot of really rich people in Cuba, and then there was a lot of very, 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 very poor people. And that was the vast population. It's what Castro was able to radicalize, taken. And Batista was such a terrible dictator that basically peaceful protesting was out the window. You see it in the scene with Michael in Cuba, where he's watching them, all the rebels against the wall, the dominant police force, and then the guy grabs the grenade and takes out one of the main leader guys, and Michael is both freaked out by that and impressed to a certain extent.
He does make that comment that the rebels work for no one.
Yeah, exactly. But so Castro is able to point to this pure evil capitalism. It's awful. I'm going to lead a revolution. Everyone's all on board, violent revolution. Batista gets knocked out. Yay, Castro, we did it. And then like 5 or 6 years later, he's no longer holding elections and is oppressing his people and kicking America out, and not now there's just only poor people in Cuba. There's no longer super rich people. So at least they got a lot of that corruption out, but still not doing great.
Power corrupts. Absolute power.
Yeah, and
corrupts, absolutely.
It's what is the main thrust of these movies.
Yeah.
So now we get a answer to that power in the assassination attempt on Michael. This is what it takes to be the head of a family. People are going to come for your head.
They're gonna, who opened those drapes?
Hotly contested.
Yeah.
Because Fredo doesn't think it's a assassination attempt.
But does he really?
Is he dumb?
He is dumb.
Is he ignorant? Did they, without so many words, say to Fredo, like, kind of going to kill him?
Yeah.
But, like, we're not going to actually say that, and Fredo believed that and is just dumb. Because we do know that security, like, you shouldn't be able to have gotten into Michael's room.
Yeah.
And it's... I forgot how early into the movie that this is.
Yeah. In a very long movie.
It's like 30 minutes in.
Yeah.
And it is the main story driving force that the rest of the film is basically about. Mm-hmm. There was an assassination attempt on Michael. What is the fallout from that? And
in his cool compound.
Yeah. And so Michael is working with Tom, and he's kind of laying out his plan. He's like, I got this stuff going with Hyman Roth. I got this thing going. You saw Uncle Frank at the wedding. You know, it's one of these two guys is trying to make a move. I don't quite know who it is, so I got to go talk to them. And when I talk to them and start putting the pressure on them, that's also going to allow me to figure out who in the family betrayed me. Because he's like, those two guys, whatever, they may have the motivation to kill me. But they can't do it because I'm protected. Someone inside had to remove that protection.
There was an insider.
Yeah, and that was
Fredo.
And so now we just basically get into Michael basically being a detective.
Detective Michael.
For like an hour of the movie, like Michael is just, he goes and sees Hyman Roth in Miami.
With the classic, turn up the TV.
Yeah, and his wife's making tuna fish.
Yeah, you're going to blow out your eardrums.
I like Hyman Roth's very, like, waspy Jewish wife.
Yeah, so that dress she's wearing with all those layers, it just sticks out. And, he's doing his thing. That's another one of those things that I think, like, that was a trope that then was repeated on and on and on in films and movies. Like, turn up the volume while we talk. So people can't hear us.
Well, it's also great when Michael pulls his chair closer. We did our, like, brief small talk, but, like, let's get down to business.
It's about business.
I love Hyman Roth so much. He's I'm not going to remember the name of the actor. This guy hadn't really been in anything before, but what he was well known for is he was one of the most famous acting teachers in Hollywood.
Wow.
And so it was basically like his proof of concept to be like, I've been teaching acting. I've gotten all these other people famous. And Coppola's like, but can you bring it?
Yeah.
And this guy knocks it out of the park. He's great.
Good.
Also, apparently, it was his choice to pop the top off.
That hairy chest.
Yep.
Reminiscent of Cher's dad in Alien 4.
Yeah.
That's the great hairy chests of all of Hollywood.
But apparently, like, his thinking was like he's having all these medical tests done to him all the time. Basically, whenever he's sitting, he like has a doctor by him, like checking his pulse and stuff because he has heart problems. And he's like, this guy would just be sitting around his house with his shirt off because he would be constantly being asked by doctors to take his shirt off.
I'll just keep
so
it
he's
off.
he's letting it fly, baby.
That makes sense. That's a good look.
Yeah, and I like that he's watching the Notre Dame USC game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, football seems kind of trivial, but I like it.
Yeah. He's a man.
He just tossing that leg up on the side of the chair too. I mean,
He's a man of leisure.
He is a man of leisure, but he is also a man of health. Takes his health very seriously.
It's the most important thing.
It is the most important. If I had 20 more years.
It's about bigger than money, bigger than power. It's your health. That's why you eat an apple a day, Mikey.
Yeah, exactly. Now we get on to the next part of the Vito, young Vito. So De Niro has now shown up. He is the adult version of Vito. And we see like his early rise, what he has to do. Family man, first and foremost.
Yes.
Loves his family.
His crying children.
Doesn't ask questions when he's asked to do stuff from another Italian. Now, if Clemenza wasn't an Italian, do you think he hides those guns?
No.
No way.
No way. Italians only. I-O.
There's a couple of things with him and Clemenza that you're like, oh yeah, you guys are just boys. Because he hides the guns for him, and then Clemenza's like, let me pay you back. I'll get you a rug. Yeah, I got a friend. Great rug salesman. I'll get you that for free. And De Niro, like, you can see in his face, like, wants to say no. Like, it's all right. He's like, but if I refuse this, then I seem like an asshole.
Gotta get this rug.
And he just follows him into clearly stealing this rug. And is literally about to watch Clemenza blow the head off of a cop who is checking in on them robbing this place. And that's Vito's introduction into crime.
Yeah. That's it.
And he goes right into it, and immediately the next thing that him and Clemenza want to do is, Vito's taken over, becoming the boss right before our eyes, willing to do the dirty work.
He is. He's got balls.
But he's got big balls.
He goes to that Italian guy with the hat. Finucci. And he says, I'll pay you back later. Well, you got a lot of balls. There's $100 under my hat.
The $100 under my hat is a great little bit.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like there's $100 under my hat.
And then he looks and counts and he's like, I knew it.
He knew it. He knows.
But yeah, he likes his balls. He likes the cut of this young man's jib.
Yeah. He could get him work. But, and that's the thing. Like, you think, would Vito be like, here's the most powerful guy, right? He is the cat's pajamas around this part, and he likes me. He says he can get me work, but Vito says, no, I'm not going that way. I'm going to kill this guy.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's mostly just because he doesn't respect the people. Like,
he's an asshole.
Yeah, like, we are supposed to be helping out our Italian brothers and sisters. What are you doing? You're robbing them.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like that. I mean, you see the detest that he has for him when Finucci jumps into his car and is like looking at the dresses. He's like, I know you stole these. How did you not know that I have 2 daughters? You should have swung these dresses by me immediately. Pay your respect and stuff like that. We know Vito later on. He wouldn't expect anybody to do that for him.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't care. He'd be like, no, like,
he's a kind mafia
come
guy.
ask me. I'll give you it.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart.
Yeah. And I mean, this is kind of the point where that storyline starts working for me.
Okay.
And I think it grows, obviously leading into him assassinating Finucci. Incredible scene watching him bounce along the rooftop.
The rooftop thing.
Following him along, you get the crowd tracking shot, Finucci going through in the white suit, so you're able to pick him out of the crowd a lot easier. I also wanted to do one kind of like movie filmmaking nerdy thing. I don't know if you noticed this. This is something like second, third, fourth time watching it. The shot that always is, it's my favorite shot in the entire movie, might be my favorite shot in either of the movies, is the tracking shot through the street vendors where it starts looking into the doorway and De Niro has the groceries over his shoulder. And it basically is just showing his like morning walk.
Okay.
And he goes and it follows him and you see all the like different vendors and stuff like that. And it's just following along behind at kind of that slow tracking pace. And then it just ends and then we go into the next scene. But it's such a good transition to like be like, this is Vito Corleone. the man who would become the Godfather, who is able to be lost in a crowd because nobody really sees him. He's just everybody else.
He is the everyman.
Yeah. And then by the end of this, he's got that guy that doesn't know who he is originally when he's asking, like, our friend, the
landlord.
You kicked her out because of the dog. Now you're giving her place away. Like, here's the extra money. And the guy's like, screw your extra money. Like, if she wants the dog back, I don't even need the extra money. And then he's like, ask around. Ask around about me.
He comes back so scared.
Yeah, and it's perfect.
She can have that. Yeah, here's the money.
Yeah, and we lower it by $5. Okay,
by 10.
10. Oh yeah, absolutely. All right.
Keep the dog. He pisses his pants as he fumbles to get out of there.
But it's incredible, and it's the parallel between Michael. Like, if somebody did that to Michael, whacked.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Vito lets him come back.
He says, ask around.
Yeah, ask around. And when he comes back, is he like super kind to him? No, he strong arms him and takes away some of his money, but that, like, he knows he's an asshole. So he's like, I'm going to put this guy in his place. Don't come in here, all apologetic and not give me anything. This is what you can do for me. You lower her rent by $10 and then she gets the dog. We're all good. And it's just incredible. It's really, really fantastic stuff to go back between.
Yeah,
I mean, are you still not in on the
No.
Vito?
I was more of a hypothetical question I asked last night on via text, like what do we think of this side story? How good is it? How relevant is it? And as and I wasn't saying I thought it was not good or relevant. I was just kind of like, what do we think? Because I guess at first I was going into this thinking, oh, that's like the main part of the movie. It's not the main part of the movie at all. It's this side character thing, and it's definitely an opportunity. I know it was the 70s, so De Niro wasn't necessarily.
No, he's not.
De Niro.
No.
So because from our in 2025 being like, oh, did they just want to throw De Niro in this to make it like a look at the star power? But I mean, he had not done Taxi Driver so he was, so that actually, that's pretty cool.
So like this, you're seeing 1974. De Niro tries out for Michael, doesn't get it. I think gets a role as one of the other people in The Godfather. Ends up bowing out to do another smaller movie that he has more creative control over. Coppola likes him so much that he asks him back to be young Vito. He wins Best Supporting Actor. I think the only time in movie history that the same character has won for Best Actor in the first movie, and then a different actor playing the same character won Best Actor in their category.
That's cool.
Also, I believe it may have happened one other time, and I'm just not remembering it, but like the first movie wins Best Picture, the sequel wins Best Picture.
Yeah, I don't think that's happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine it's happened. I'm sure, whatever. I should know that. I don't for sure, but regardless. And then then De Niro's career just explodes after this. He become like, as soon as he does this movie, he is signed, sealed, delivered, movie star.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's cool, and I think it does, like, to set up the juxtaposition between the Vito way and the Michael way and the way that came up. Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's good.
And you do need somebody as compelling as Michael holding down that other timeline. Just like if the guy playing young Vito we just didn't care about.
Yeah.
Because he just wasn't giving a great performance. That timeline would be really bad.
Stupid, yeah.
And every single time it would switch back, you'd be like, oh my. It'd be like watching a TV show and you're like, oh, they're doing an entire episode about this character.
Flashback?
Yeah. Like, I don't really care.
A flashback with some lesser person.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I mean, we've gone a lot of this way. We've made some early on Fredo jokes, but we'll leave young Vito there because we gotta start talking Fredo.
Yeah.
Because Fredo is pretty important to the rest of this movie, and that means that we are in Havana, Cuba.
Love his suits.
Oh my gosh. Everything in Cuba. I will criticize the Italian stuff for the rest of my life, I'll try and find bits and pieces that I don't like about it. I love everything in Cuba.
Yeah.
It's so good. What do they call a banana daiquiri? Banana daiquiri, a banana daiquiri.
Also, the fact that that's what he drinks, a banana daiquiri.
Come on, he's Fredo. Look at him.
It's just like such an interesting drink. I don't know, banana flavored drinks. Yeah.
A lot of the drink orders in both of these movies, they're like unless they're like sitting at the table, like having dinner and just having red wine, they're always ordering these fancy cocktails, like
champagne cocktails.
Can't you just have like a scotch or something?
No, you gotta. That's not in the time.
But
daiquiri.
Michael, club soda, baby.
Yeah. Michael doesn't drink.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you see him drink wine here and there, but like when he's doing business, he's sober as a bird.
Yeah. Okay.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, banana daiquiri, Fredo in his Havana night suit,
and that scene with the banana daiquiri while they're sitting in the cafe outside, and Fredo almost admits it.
I'm so mad at you.
And then he pulls away because he just can't say it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I wish we would do this more often. Oh. And that, like, because you want him to say, you wish you did this more often so you didn't feel like you had to betray him to move forward in life.
To have any sense of power.
And this is the tragedy of Fredo in that now that has been planted into my mind. And I see that scene and I'm like, if Fredo admits it there and doesn't go on to like continue to slap Michael's intelligence in the face and trust and loyalty in the face the rest of the Cuban trip, does Michael forgive him?
No.
Now, he still might have done the, you're nothing to me, you're not a brother, you're not a friend, when I come into a room, you leave, that sort of thing. He might not have taken him out. I like to think that there is some hope that if Fredo was like, I was so mad at you.
Yeah.
I did this. I screwed up really, because he never actually does that until he is so browbeaten when he's like laying back and he does the whole like, because I'm stupid, but I'm not stupid. I'm smart.
I'm smart.
And do you know what it's like to be the older brother? I'm your older brother, Michael, and I got passed over.
Yeah.
How do you think that makes me like if he would have in that moment in the cafe had that actual, and you know, like Vito would tell him, why don't you be a man?
Yeah.
Why don't you just tell him? Why don't you just say, I did this, I screwed up, but here's why. I think Michael might have respected it, and he might have been dead to him as a brother, but he might not have been dead.
Maybe not. It's a good, I mean, it's easy to make fun of Fredo, and he is funny character, and he is ridiculous. But all of that obviously done with intention. And even, the black silk sheets and all that stuff that's ridiculous. His out-of-control wife. It is...
She is a trip. Dude.
Yeah. Funny, but also, like, very well done. And, when he does give that speech towards the end, like, that, that very well-painted character of just, like, the kind of the less intelligent brother that's really hurting and that's trying his best to impress people and be impressive in a family where he's clearly just the black sheep, and the pain that causes him, and his inability to really rise above that because he still is Fredo. So he's still like, I'll get black sheets. I'll take him to this weird sex show. How about that?
That was because Johnny Oma, like, basically was like, this is where you find the good stuff in Cuba, baby.
Oh man,
he's like, you're all rich, you're all great, you get whatever you want all the time. I know how we gotta give you an experience you can't just get anywhere, and that's Superman.
Superman, wow, yeah.
Is that real? That's why they call him Superman. I like how that. None of that scenario makes any, like, why does he fall down and, like, lay on the ground initially, and then he stands up?
I don't know.
And, like,
it's a lot of weird stuff.
Does that woman have consent, or is this a role that they're, like, are they literally just going to watch a woman get raped by a porn star? Like, that seems really strange and horrible. There's some really horrible stuff with sex workers in this movie. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I'll talk about the Tom Hagen of it all in a second, because I have a theory that will blow your mind.
Okay.
I'll
Ready for
tease
that?
that currently. But let's talk more about Fredo. This is Fredo's big moment. This is his downfall on Cuba. The scene at the end where Connie pleads for Fredo's life once more, it fills in so much more about Fredo. Like, he's so sweet, he's so loving when he wants to be. He's just this dumb guy that, like, he just wants a little respect, Michael, and you never showed him the respect. And if you would just reach out to him, you would see that you can still trust him. And it just is never going to work on Michael. He's just too driven.
Yeah.
And he's made his bed and he's willing to lie in it. And even if that means having to take out my brother, he's taking him out on principle. Because if he doesn't take out Fredo and people find out what Fredo did, he looks weak.
He's soft.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
And it's why there's throughout this entire movie, anytime Fredo gets brought up to Michael, get out of the room, everybody out of the room.
Yeah.
He's protecting Fredo as much as he possibly can so that it is Michael and Michael's alone decision what happens. And he takes it on himself, and it's, I alluded to it in the first episode of this that we did, but this entire saga is the downfall of Michael Corleone.
Yeah.
You're watching the rise of his father Vito. We see the end of Vito in one. Basically dies in an amazing spot. He's this figurehead, this amazing, like, godlike figure to these people who did no wrong and built this thing. And it's kind of like America. Like, look at us. We did the revolution.
And
we stuck it to him. We built this amazing thing. And then my son takes over and...
the reality of the future sets in.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next phase. Next phase of America.
And it's just... Michael has to find out the hard way that, like, evil begets evil, begets evil, like, you do that first thing. You shoot Sollozzo in the head and have to literally leave America to get away with it, and you come back and nothing's the same.
Yeah.
You started it, you let it in, and it's over. And it's culminates in all of this Fredo stuff where he has to take him out, and it's horrible.
Brother.
And we'll talk a little bit more about Fredo at the end, but let's get into the Hyman Roth side of Cuba.
Sure.
Where are you currently with this first time watching it? How are you doing with did Frank Pantangeli call the hit, or did Hyman Roth call the hit?
I think it was, I would lean towards Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what Coppola is steering you towards in a lot of ways.
Not obvious, but that's where I would go.
Yeah, and so there's a very famous ad lib that exists, and it's Frank Pantangeli. Michael has both the conversation with Hyman Roth where he's trying to suss out who did this, without saying as much. He goes back, he talks to Frank in their old home, in his father's old study. He accuses him without accusing him, basically, trying to suss it out. We don't know what he sussed out or anything like that. And next time we see Frank Pantangeli, he's going into a bar because he's supposed to meet somebody, and then there's the attempt on his life. And the guy ad-libs, Michael Corleone says hello.
Okay.
And that was not in the script. Coppola loved it, said keep saying that. And we now know at the end of this movie that was a Hyman Roth hit from the Rosado brothers, basically carrying it out to further because they just want to take Frank out, basically. And so that line then makes no sense, or it's just there to trick you, basically. Yeah. Oh, like, this is Michael, like, he figured it out, it was Frank, all good. Hyman Roth is, he's a businessman, but he didn't try to kill him. But then you find out it is Hyman Roth. Yeah. And you find out why. Because they killed Mo Green. Mm-hmm. And I said, this is just business, so I did nothing. And I lived with it. But Mo Green was a great man.
He was a great man. A very complicated man.
And yeah, Hyman Roth goes to take a nap. He's like, the money will either be on the table when I wake up or it won't. I'll know if I have a partner. And money doesn't show up. And so like Michael basically passes it off. Like we know by this time that he knows that Hyman Roth is responsible for the attempted assassination. Fredo is basically given that up by talking about knowing Johnny Olma and Roth before he said he knew them, essentially. He gives that away at the sex show where he's, in his cups barking about stuff.
Johnny Ola.
Ola, not Ola. Olaf? If I can call him.
Ola.
Ola. Johnny Ola. Yeah.
Ola.
And so we know that it's Hyman Roth. We know that Michael knows, and then we get into, I think intermission happens, and then we get into the showdown.
Style.
Yeah. And we get into the trial of the century. I would imagine if this happened currently, if
courtroom action.
The largest mob boss in America was in Senate, like getting, taken down by the Senate, U.S. Senate, and guys were coming forward. And Michael looks like he's in a lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble for Michael. They have to find out. Well, we eventually learn that Hyman Roth, like, he's got so many politicians in his pocket that kind of putting this together, not a big deal. We know that Michael, like, tried to take Hyman Roth out, and he's got so many connections that when he tries to do it, when he's in the hospital, like, literally the police come and shoot the assassin.
Yep.
Because they're the ones protecting Hyman Roth, because he essentially owns all of Cuba. And he likes Cuba because of its political corruption.
Yeah.
He's like, these guys in America, they're way too straight-laced. You can't get anything done.
It's the good old place.
And he's like, I come to Cuba, I put a couple bucks in a politician's pocket, and I got him for life, baby. So, yeah, Hyman Roth has orchestrated this whole thing. Fredo eventually tells Michael what their smoking gun is. Because the senator has been like alluding to it. We'll corroborate this. There'll be no more of these buffer guys that all can say stuff like, yeah, Michael indirectly told me to kill this guy. But they're like, we got a guy that can say he got direct orders from Michael. We find out that's Frank Pantangeli. And Frank Pantangeli in the courtroom is electric. Michael's like, oh, we're screwed. Uncle Frank can like take us out. It's not going to be good. So what do we got to do? And when Frank's going to take the stand, you see Michael and Tommy walking in, and they got this old fat bald guy. You're like, who is this guy? And Frank like looks back at him. And we see a look of recognition, like these guys are connected. And then he looks at Michael, and Michael's just giving him the death glare.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you need to do now, or else this dude's dead. We find out later that it's Frank's older brother, who he respects a ton, never left Sicily, never needed this American make a new life nonsense, lives in a two-mule town. This guy could have been a boss. And that's just the motivation that Frankie needs. So when he's asked, he just cops the line about everything. He's like, people are telling me Michael Corleone did this, did that. And I'm like, yeah, he did. And I mean, this guy is just incredible. I love him.
He's selling it.
I love everything, every little thing about it. So that's how Michael gets out of this whole senatorial hearing. We see how close he basically got to being got from a governmental standpoint, and
but using the threat on someone's family.
Yeah, that he's willing to go to that level.
Yeah, so we're seeing the new depths that Michael goes to. Right, Michael will kill your family.
Yep. And we
to save himself.
Yeah, and we think that like this is as far as it can go. Like this is, but then what is the cost of what Uncle Frank just did. So he initially gets corrupted by Hyman Roth, basically, or blackmailed to be a part of this. You're going to turn on Michael. He's going to go to jail forever. You got a spot with me. Hyman Roth is basically selling that to him. Frank sees that his brother's in danger, turns all lies. Michael's saved. He gets a visit from Tommy Hagen, and that's never good.
No, in jail.
And they have this
or in his little jail-like place.
You have this incredible scene of dialogue where Tom, without saying, brings up to Frank, he's like, you helped Vito do this. Like, you're the guy that knew all this history about the Roman Empire and how, they used legions and centurions to build their army, control their empire. You told Vito, like, this is how it's going to be done. We're going to have, the main heads of the family, but then you're going to have people underneath you that have their families, but they're going to be loyal to you. And you set this whole architecture up. He's like, and you know what happened when people would go against, when those smaller factions would go against the big ones? That person had to die. Yeah. And if they chose to kill themselves with honor in their eyes, their families were taken care of. So the blood is on you. It is not on your family. But if you keep fighting, then it will be on your family. We'll take that part out. Yeah, you're done.
Kill yourself in the bathtub.
And but that whole conversation is said behind not saying it. Yeah. And Frank completely understands, and even brings up, he's like, sometimes those guys would even have a party to say goodbye, and then they would just be gone. And that's exactly what happens. Well, they didn't really have a party. He's got two guys playing hearts down in the basement.
Party-ish.
One of those is Harry Dean Stanton, who is in one of my favorite movies, Paris, Texas.
Yeah.
And is, considered one of the better actors of that era. One of his first roles, just playing hearts.
HDS.
Going up and checking on Frankie, and pretty bloody image, kind of like the horse head, but this time in a bathroom, blood spilling everywhere. Frank is he's gone out. His family's safe. And so is this as far as Michael will descend? He's literally killed the man who he gifted his father's home to when he moves to Lake Tahoe, puts him in charge of the family. He's taken Uncle Frank out. The guy who is being so horrible to him and saying all these terrible things to him at the beginning of the movie, and Michael passes off by being like, he was drunk, no big deal, whatever. I'll interrogate him about the whole assassination, but like, do I really think he did it? Probably not. But this is, too far. You got corrupted by Hyman Roth. You got to go. And that leads us then to the Fredo, which we've talked about, but his final huge stripping away of his humanity altogether, the last conversation with Kay. And the last moment with Kay.
Yeah, the abortion part.
It was an abortion, Michael!
Just like this marriage! So it's like, okay, what's the...
I mean, Diane Keaton, an incredible actor. Just not super well served. Kay Corleone's not an incredible character. This is an incredible scene with Kay. I think the final scene, too, where Michael shuts the door on her. Just cold-blooded.
Yeah.
To have that, and then within, I think, 5 minutes, Fredo gets shot. You're like, holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of dark
This guy is...
He's descending.
A demon.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing, the metaphor of the abortion to what Michael's done literally to his family, the thing that he is like paraded as the cornerstone of this whole thing. Like, I do this for family. I do this because of family. And she's like, you have so corroded this idea of family that I knew I couldn't let this son come into this world because I don't want him in it. so I would rather kill him. Now, the logic of that, K. Corleone, extremely selfish on your part. I would definitely recommend having the kid and then, trying to figure out how to get out of an abusive relationship. But again, that's just me mansplaining to a woman. It's so tragic that this is where she thinks she has to go and then follows through with it.
Her body, her choice.
Exactly. And it's just devastating. And she knows. So apparently what happened is in the early writing process, it was supposed to stay a miscarriage.
Oh.
And Talia Shire, who is Francis Ford Coppola's sister, comes up to him and says, I got an idea. Here's a little woman's perspective on it. We know that the miscarriage really hurt Michael. Not happy about it. If it actually was an abortion and Kay took control of her, her life basically,
yes,
and did the abortion, that is going to hurt Michael 10 times more.
Someone going against him and taking their own power and liberty back.
And literally because you're a monster.
Yeah.
So you don't get to be this kid's dad.
He has a temper tantrum. He can't handle the fact that he is an asshole.
Yeah.
Worse than an asshole. That's not a good way to say it. But he's fallen apart. I think it's referenced, foreshadowed in the end of the first movie there, right when he's becoming the Godfather to the while all the people are getting hit, and it's just a very evil thing that's happening. He's becoming evil Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you renounce the devil and all his works? Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
not at all.
obviously not.
Yeah.
So that, and then obviously coupled with the closing the door on her while literally before she is begging her son Anthony to give her a kiss, and you see the Michael influence in Anthony that he won't do it. You kind of expect, because I obviously know what's going to happen. I put myself in the perspective of somebody watching it with any amount of hope. When you see Michael come in and Kay has just pleaded with her son, you kind of hope that because this is what happens in real life. You kind of hope the dad, even if he hates the mom, is come on kid, go give your mom a hug.
Be decent.
Be decent, and instead further instructs the kid on shutting this person out by literally closing the door on her. You hear the yelp of a cry on the outside, and he turns away.
Cold.
Yep, as cold as possible. And then Fredo's murder happens.
On the boat.
Takes him out, saves his son from being a witness to it. Got to go to Reno with the old man. Hail Mary story.
Yeah.
Did you? I kind of. There's something about mustacheless Fredo. I just liked him more.
You liked him more without the stash?
And I like to think it's because he got sober. He kind of looks like your crazy uncle who is definitely an addict of some kind and is why can't this guy have a wife and kids and all that? He just seems to be partying all the time. Yeah. And then eventually it slows down and he gets sober, and then he just turns into your uncle that'll take you fishing.
Yep.
Because he already screwed away his chance of starting a family, so he's got to take other people's families. And every conversation you have with him is yeah, the kid, I'm just so sad all the time, but I'm just trying to make it through.
I used to be a good fisherman,
when I was fishing with the old pop, they couldn't catch fish, but me, I could do it.
I caught him.
How your dad has made all this money, had a great life.
Can't catch any fish though.
Look at me.
Fish catcher.
And he says the Hail Mary and gets shot in the back.
Yeah, I like how they have the little, right out of the frame, you can see the barrel of the gun.
So apparently when first released, obviously screens weren't as big, so they shrink everything. It is shot on widescreen. That's how cameras work. Eventually we got to the technology that could literally show what cameras were actually shooting. Because of the nature of things back in the 70s, everything had to be shrunk down into a square, essentially, or tighter rectangle. And so that was not visible. Cool. So the shot literally comes out of nowhere. When you saw it in the 70s, now you can see just a little bit of the gun.
Yeah.
both things I think work really well from like a metaphor standpoint, literally out of nowhere, or like there it is.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah, I like it.
The thing just peeking out, and then we finish the movie with the final scene where we come back to the beginning again. We're back to the family together in the first Godfather movie. That those warm colors come back, and I kind of feel back at home again after being in this stark world of Godfather 2. And you see the family, and they're having a meal, and they're fighting like families do, and giving each other shit. And like, what did you do, Michael?
Yeah.
Did you leave and go to the army? Yeah, I actually did.
We see the.
I love James Caan too, and he's back, baby.
He's back. He's awesome.
So get this, Caan is like, I'll come back and do this cameo. And 2, pay me the same amount I did in the. They paid him exactly the same amount he made in The Godfather to be in this one scene.
That's crazy. I thought this was a deleted scene.
No.
Okay.
So real scene added on. They wanted to get everybody back. Obviously, the big one, Caan, and then Brando. And Brando's like, yeah, I'll do it. All right. Doesn't show up. Just completely blows off the day that they're shooting this. Caan is like, give me as much money as I made in the first one. They're like, I guess. And he's fantastic. He's just ripping everybody out of this scene. And then they have to do this adjustment with the whole Brando thing where he's off camera technically, and they're, we're watching Michael and stay with him. But there was supposed to be a scene where Vito then talks to Michael about joining the army and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
They couldn't do any of that. So, yeah, Brando basically just like was like, I don't need your stupid movie.
I like it, though. I like how that, I really like that scene. And so, I mean, speaking of scenes, should we grab it?
Yep. Let's get to our major awards and major overview of what happened in this film. So let's begin with our favorite scene. Chris, you got a favorite scene?
Yeah, I actually am going to choose the end scene, that what we were just talking about.
Because you love Godfather 1, baby.
I do love Godfather 1, and I also think it just, like, after the whole movie that we've seen in 2, bringing us back to that is just, like, a brilliant take, a brilliant idea, and we see basically the inspiration. We see like Fredo and the character that he is, and we see Michael. Like we just can see the seeds that will be planted to make them who they are, and that what we've seen them, the arcs that we've seen through 2, and then just having that moment with Michael silent, alone at the end, almost like that little moment of contemplating, like. It's almost like, even though that's in the past, it does like bring you to the future and being like, what has this guy done? Like, this guy's alone. He's ostracized. He's taken out. He's alone from his whole family. They're all away now because of what he's done. He's on his own. He's sad at the table. That is him. Even though it's brilliant. I love it. That's my favorite scene.
Yeah. And it's funny because Fredo talks about feeling lonely and being alone, and like, he doesn't think it's of his own making, whereas Michael is alone because of his own decisions. Mm-hmm. Like, he has purposely alienated himself from the family in hopes of, being his father, essentially. My favorite scene is the Michael Pantangeli scene back in the his father's old office.
Okay.
We get a glimpse of future Pacino in this, because this is where he does the they shot into my room where my wife sleeps and my kids come to play with the dog. On now. No, but it's the high, like, my wife in a bed it is, and my kids come to play with the toys. And he just goes high-low on him, and then the rest of Pacino's career is just that.
Yep, that's it.
Hoo-ah!
Yeah.
But listen.
That's where I go. Great ass.
And, gosh, I mean, everything about that, I've already said. Pantangeli is basically my favorite character in any of the Godfather movies. an accidental character that should have never existed. It should have been just Clemenza. They throw him in there. He's fantastic. The actor's name is Michael Gazzo, and he's just a sad sack, great old Italian dude. He's hilarious. He's passionate, and then he kills that scene in the end with Tom Hagen. So I'm bleeding into. He's my performance in the movie. Okay. Is Michael Gazzo.
I like that. Yeah, that's a great performance. I'm going to give it to Fredo.
Yes, I knew Cazale was gonna grab it for you.
Because again, like what I was saying, I mean, of course Pacino's good, of course De Niro's good. I mean, of course, right? Like that without saying. But the way that and Fredo is dumb, but like I just think that they capture what they're going for very well. He captures that very well as this like kind of tragic idiot.
Yeah.
And that's and it is like you can look at it and laugh at it, but you can also look at it and be like that is tragic, and look what happens, and then the guy dies, and so I think that's actually like a sneaky really good performance.
Yeah. So this movie, Godfather Part II, again, I will caveat it, I enjoy watching Godfather 1 more. Godfather Part 2 is so good at developing character that I criticize it for not having more Fredo scenes, because I love Fredo so much in 2 that I'm just like, I would love nothing more to just have another scene where like Fredo's like trying to wine and dine people and stuff like that, or even another like him and Michael scene where like they're still trying to kind of spar over like, does he know, and is Michael trying to get more out of him, like what is Fredo still hiding. Like I love Fredo in this movie so much that I criticize it because I want more
Fredo, but
it's only because they build him so much in this movie, because like you can watch the first one and forget that Fredo even exists,
and well, for sure, and he's a different kind of character. I mean, there's so many of the characters are kind of the same, like I'm a boss, I'm a tough man, I am a businessman, I'm plotting and I'm making deals and I'm killing people, and Fredo is definitely not that. He's not able to be that. He cries, he's striving for his brother's affection, and just he's different, and I think that's great. MVP, huge award here. I'll just give it to Al Pacino again.
Probably, yeah.
Because I mean, he's just he's carrying it through. I mean, he carries the whole. He's the through line. He's the through line from the first movie, and just what he can do. I mean, we talked about how Al Pacino's career went and how he got into his very big performances, and that became like what he was. But in the early days, he is so effective at just a look with. I don't know, his performance is subtle, but he also, I think, captures the decline of this character, which is the main thrust of the whole film, and it speaks to the larger themes of how this is happening throughout the country, and et cetera, whatever, how the effects of capitalism and all that. So I think it's Pacino for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Francis Ford Coppola. He went back-to-back Best Pictures.
It's hard to compete with.
Using basically the same characters. So he took a movie that everybody loved. He then made a sequel to it that people arguably love more, and then won all the same awards for it again.
That's pretty tough.
Usually, it is very hard for a director to make a movie that wins Best Picture. Then they make a completely different movie that is very good, and then the Academy is like, yeah, but we just gave it to you.
Yeah. Politics be damned.
Coppola transcended that, and so I'm going to give him, begrudgingly the MVP. I mean, does he really deserve it? But I think so. Great job by Francis Ford Coppola. If you would indulge me for just a moment, Chris, before we finally wrap this up. I presented in the first episode my idea of The Godfather being basically Shakespeare for modern times.
Yeah.
The Mafia movie is
I like that.
Shakespeare's Royal Court. So I wanted to give a more thorough thesis statement for that.
Sure.
So I got that written down here. I will read it.
Recite it to us.
Mafia movies are America's royal dramas where bloodlines, power, betrayal, and legacy are played out not in palaces, but in diners, casinos, and funeral parlors. They peel back the mythology of American dream, exposing the cost of ambition, the illusion of control, and the tragic gravity of the family. Like Shakespeare's kings and princes, these mob bosses are both monstrous and sympathetic. They love, they mourn, they fall, but their fatal flaw is almost always the same: confusing power with redemption. Michael Corleone is America's Macbeth, it's Lear, it's Hamlet, rolled into one. A son burdened by legacy, a brother hollowed by vengeance, a king who gets everything except peace. And what makes it American is this: the dream was never about being noble. It was about beating the system so thoroughly that you rewrite the rules, and then realizing too late that the system that you beat was the only thing holding your soul together.
Very well said.
And then my second theory that I will present. So this includes the first two movies. So I was chatting with my chat god, ChatGPT, and where I'm kind of working through like, what do I want to talk about in Godfather Part II? What like literary analysis, all this sort of stuff. I'm like, give me a little like, how is this like Faust? You know, deal with the devil.
Sure.
And it then, you know, spits out its results or whatever, and it mentions a little bit of, you know, is Tom Hagen the devil?
Oh.
And I'm like, whoa. Let's dive into this a little bit. So I have this entire theory now presenting Tom Hagen as the devil on the shoulder of Michael Corleone that is essentially guiding his descent into hell.
Wow.
And here's how it goes. So, in Godfather Part II, Tom doesn't yell. He doesn't threaten. He simply appears at the worst moments of your life and offers a way out that makes you his forever. Ooh. So Michael wants to legitimize the family. Hagen, the non-wartime consigliere, is getting the law on his side to make this dream come true. Mm-hmm. Devil, I want this thing. This is what I want more than anything in the world, to get my family out of having to basically kill each other to get ahead. Let's legitimize this. Hagen goes, got you. What will it cost you? It will now cost you your soul, which is what we see the rest of the way in Godfather Part 2. Michael slowly descending. This is the cost of legitimizing yourself. This is the cost of what I have allowed for you through my lawyerly skills. He is a document signer. He is a contract maker. And when Michael has to leave the family, he leaves to do his work in Cuba. He leaves the family in the hands of Tom Hagen.
Yes.
What happens when Tom Hagen takes control? The most devastating thing you see anyone do to anyone else is what they do to Senator McGeary with the prostitute, where you know for certain that they knocked this guy out, killed this hooker. I don't think you can say hooker anymore, but
sex worker.
Just did.
Yeah.
Killed this sex worker. He wakes up, and who does he see? He sees Tom Hagen, who is like, hey, I'm the best person that could have shown up here at this time. You made a little oopsie over here. We'll take care of that. No one is going to know who she is. I know the owner. She's, whatever. No one's going to miss her. But, you got me now. We'll take care of this. I think Michael has no idea how this happened. I think he knows that he wants the senator in his back pocket. Tommy, take care of it. Again, the devil that you're working with. I don't want this evil on my hands. So you take care of it in the way that you see fit so that I get my reward. And Tommy is just like, I got it, dude. And I think all of this results from Michael Corleone calling Tom Hagen not a wartime consigliere. I think that broke his heart. And this is a guy that wants to be a brother. He wants to be a part of the family more than anything else. And he loves Vito for showing him love and making him part of the family, making him a part of the business. And when Vito dies and Michael takes over, or I think it's even before Michael takes over, before Vito dies. But Michael's first move is basically like, Tommy, you can't handle this. What we're doing right now, you can't handle. So he spits in his brother's face. And it's the idea of we make our own demons. We make our own devil. The devil that exists in our minds is of our own making. The devil is not actually real, but we create it. And we often create it out of the things that we love the most. So this is the love for a brother. This is the spite that turns that brother into...
And not feeling like a real brother.
The demon that chases you the rest of the way through. So Tommy comes into part 2 going, this is a guy that didn't think I could be a wartime consigliere. I'll show him a wartime consigliere. Mm-hmm. And Tommy gives away his soul in pursuit of that. And in turn is guiding Michael in the loss of his own soul all the way down. So Tom Hagen, the devil.
I love it.
Just sending Michael Corleone into hell. And an absolutely electric, wonderful performance by Robert Duvall.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's absolutely great. The only thing that would be greater is if...
the third movie was better.
If Al Pacino, as the devil, was also his devil from...
Look!
But don't touch!
Touch, but don't taste.
Yeah, if we could get a little of that too. But no. Really, that's great. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So again, these are masterpieces of movies. Whenever you're able to imbue Faust, Shakespeare into a movie made in the 1970s, you're getting the classics involved with something that happened in more modern times. That means that too will be a classic someday, 100 years down the road. Hopefully this podcast episode will last hundreds of years down the road, but
absolutely, I'm sending it to space.
We'll never know. This is the episode that I have definitely talked the most on.
That's okay.
So I apologize those that love hearing Chris's thoughts.
Okay.
I definitely steamrolled the shit out of him on this one.
Maybe coming strong for the third one to make fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll
I know the third one barely at all. Okay. I don't even know if I've actually watched the full thing all the way through.
Yeah.
But I do know that I don't enjoy it that much. Robert Duvall is not in it.
Oh.
Mario Puzo is not involved. So this is a Francis Ford Coppola vanity project with apparently a decent Al Pacino performance. And potentially the most famous line in The Godfather that everybody doesn't realize is in Godfather 3.
Which is?
They pull me back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Literally every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in is Godfather 3. And it's the only part of Godfather 3 that anybody remembers.
Yeah, the classics from 2 would be that I took away was I knew it was you. You broke my heart.
Yeah. The kiss.
Yeah. Okay, ratings. I'm going to give it an 8.4.
Yeah. So I gave 8.8 to it. The first one.
Yeah, to GF1.
I'm going to give it the same exact score. It's boring. I like both these movies for different reasons, and I think they're both incredible works of art. They're not my favorite movies of all time, but I think I would rather go to a class talking about Godfather 2 than probably even some of the movies that I think are technically better.
Okay.
Just because there's literally 6 hours of a movie to discuss. Some movies you only have an hour and 45 minutes of content to discuss.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. But that's my thoughts on The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2.
Hell yeah.
Part 3.
Coming up.
It's coming up. I kind of want to talk about the funny idea we had, which would be way better than covering 3. And I wish people actually gave us feedback because it would be fun. Because Chris brought this up. 3 sucks. Let's just not do 3, but let's keep it in the same ballpark. Let's just do Heat.
We'll do Heat.
You get Bob De Niro back. You get Pacino.
Yeah.
It's a crime story. There's a lot of the same themes and elements and all that sort of stuff. And we'll just call it Godfather 3.
We just won't say
because nobody has actually ever seen, or they've only seen Godfather 3 once and thought it was stupid. So let's just do Heat.
Heat they're talking about?
So for those of you listening in the future, maybe we did do that bit. Or maybe we didn't, and we actually covered 3. That is up in the air. But that probably won't be happening until after I am wed.
Yeah, that's right, everybody. Luke is tying the knot in the very near future.
Yep.
So which is part. Nah, not a small reason for some of the break that it was taken, but really it was other things too. But so a new man, a wedded man will be talking about Heat, Godfather 3, life as a husband.
Yeah, thankfully Michael Corleone has given me some things to avoid. I'm gonna try to avoid those.
That's good. That's a good thing.
I'm gonna just be a Vito.
Just be a Vito.
Yeah, his
Be a
wife
Vito.
seemed to love his wife all the way through.
Oh my God, he was so good.
I don't know if he had any mistresses or anything.
I'm sure he was just a stand-up guy.
For sure.
There's no way that he had any demons at all.
Doesn't Fredo's like girlfriend be like, never marry a Sicilian man? They treat their wives like shit.
Yeah, I mean, I can't comment on that, but
that's stereotyping and not something that we do. Even though every single human being stereotypes people in their mind because of
I've heard things. I've heard things.
I've heard
Bobby,
things.
Bobby.
Whoa. But yes, Godfather 3 probably next. Maybe not. Maybe it's Heat. Doesn't matter. First two movies, classics. Thanks for joining me, Chris. Hopefully you've enjoyed this experience so far.
I absolutely have. We'll see you next time.
See you.